Hater alert! Hater alert! Hater alert! Hater alert!
Alrighty, for the first episode of Hater Alert, we're going to talk about what I didn't like from WrestleMania 41. Starting off first with the World Tag Team match, New Day versus War Raiders. I do like War Raiders. I feel like tag team wise, they can be pretty entertaining. And during the match, it was kind of flat, but Ivar's moves were kind of getting a rise out of the crowd. He did the handspring, started off with like the double body splash on the LED screen on the side of the ring. That kind of got the crowd going, but honestly, there was no build to it. In the little promo package they had, it tried to make it seem like this was an ongoing thing, and it really wasn't. I don't know why that match got to have a WrestleMania match. I don't know, just because like, hey, we need a tag team match, and that's the one it's gonna be. Granted, I do like the Raw tag team titles. I think those look a lot better than the ones that are on SmackDown. But even though I do like the Street Profits more than War Raiders and even New Day, and I'll preface this by saying I started back watching wrestling around this year, right before Royal Rumble. So I don't have a lot of context to a lot of stuff that happened before, but just based off what I've seen since Rumble, like the War Raiders are cool, but I feel like they don't move the crowd. And from a perspective of watching at home, how the crowd reacts definitely, I think, affects how viewers at home see the wrestlers, even though that's fair or unfair, because obviously there's wrestlers who are great in ring but don't have a great crowd reaction or a great pop as soon as they come out, or their entrance isn't as captivating. But in terms of the match, like the match was fine, but it didn't feel like a WrestleMania match, in all honesty. And I've gone back and I've watched like last year's night 2 of WrestleMania and other matches and stuff. There's a certain feel, there's a certain energy in WrestleMania matches, and I don't really think that helped it at all. And also apparently Ivar's, and man, I don't know the other guy's name. I feel so sorry. I'm not doing him due justice, but their entrance and like what they were wearing was apparently like Clash of Clans like sponsored, which is like apparently the same with Drew McIntyre's entrance as well in night 2, where like he had the Doom Slayer stuff on, and I didn't even pick up on that. I was like, okay, like I guess this is just his little prop and stuff, but no, it was for fucking sponsors, which I think that's, and now I'm being very dramatic, but that's kind of disgusting. Like, why would you have sponsors put stuff in people's, why would you have sponsors put stuff in wrestlers' WrestleMania entrances? Like, it's a special moment. Wrestlers might not get back over there, but you want them to cater to the sponsors, which I get, because obviously with sponsors, it means more money's coming in. The wrestlers are probably getting paid a lot more, and the sponsors also help for making it possible for people to watch it very easily. Because honestly, if WrestleMania wasn't on Peacock, if Raw wasn't on Netflix, and if you use a VPN, or if you're outside of the United States, you can pretty much watch everything else on Netflix. And for all that to happen, then something's got to give. So the sponsors and the ads and stuff are kind of just a part of it. But I think it's kind of disgusting to like have wrestlers like have sponsor stuff in their WrestleMania entrance. Like, that's a little grimy to me. But nonetheless, the match was fine. A lot of people were speculating that Big E would do something, but it was just a regular match. It was just a regular match. Could have been good on a Raw, you know. There's a lot of people saying that, but that kind of brought the energy down after the Jay and Gunther match, even though some people didn't like that. I thought it was fine. I just wish that Jay would have held on to the sleeper hold a little bit longer instead of Gunther just tapping immediately. But he's also done that in the past. But I feel like out of everything that's happened in the build, if you want to call it a build, and Gunther bloodying up Jimmy, it's like I would rather like just show some sort of like heavy aggression and like just don't let him tap, but just like put him to sleep. But and to go off on a side tangent about Jay and Gunther, like Jay using Gunther's moves and everything, I think that was a good way to kind of show progression in Jay throughout this whole thing. So I was a fan of that match. I liked it. But I'll say a lot of my gripes really were with night 2. And I would mention like the Becky and I said the Becky, Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton's match. It didn't really do much for me. I don't really have anything to really say about it. Tiffany's entrance was pretty cool, very nice. And then Charlotte did a similar entrance to LA Knight, but just pulled up in a nicer car. I don't know if that was planned, if they're like, hey, or if anybody brought it up, like, hey, are we going to do like just 2 pull-up car entrances? Like, is that cool on night 1? Like Charlotte pulls up in the Royce and then LA Knight pulls up in the Maserati. Like, one's value depreciates as soon as it gets off the lot. That Maserati probably lost thousands of dollars going up that WrestleMania ramp. So, hey, but it is what it is. Now, I feel like night 2, it's weird because night 2, the triple threat, Rhea, Bianca, Io Sky, great. Drew, Damian Priest, great match. I enjoyed that. Fatal 4-way Intercontinental title. Love that. The last 2 matches on this, the women's tag team championship match and then the ending to Cody and Cena, it was like, the graphs, well, basically just graphs that show trends. Like, for me, once that tag team started, like, it's the slope just starts to go down. Like, it's like a slow decrease. And mainly because on night 1, they do the angle where Bayley is injured and Lyra needs to find a new partner. And also during that whole thing, Bayley is like, it seems like Bayley is like not really selling that she's hurt. She's doing the bare minimum of like displaying that she is hurt badly, which initially made me be like, this is kind of weird, which makes sense because then reports came out that she wasn't really hurt. It's just an angle, like it's just part of the story. But with that happening, we have a full day to speculate on who it is, and obviously it was Becky Lynch. Because and I wish they would have did this like at the beginning of night 2 instead of doing it night 1 before the match, before the day of the match, because it would have been a little bit more interesting to, like, at the start of it, you show her being injured and like Lyra has to find somebody like within hours so that people don't have time to like speculate, investigate on who it is, because it can only be so many people, right? And Becky Lynch was at the Hall of Fame. She was there backstage night 1, watching Seth's match. So obviously it was kind of predictable. But she came out and, good reaction. Energy was good, Now, again, I just started back watching wrestling around right before Royal Rumble. I don't really know much about Becky Lynch, to be honest. I know that she was very important to a lot of the improvement of women's wrestling. And I did go back a couple of days ago, watch the first women's Royal Rumble, watched the first Money in the Bank, which the ending for the first women's Money in the Bank, dog shit, personally. I can speak on that a different time. But yeah, so Becky Lynch comes back. They win the titles, and I'm like, okay, like, it's cool, but I'm like, I'm not really moved. Lyra being a double champ, I think that's cool. Lyra, great wrestler. Like a lot of her matches are really good. I think the first one I watched was I don't know if I don't think it was on the Netflix debut. It might have been the second Netflix Raw show, but she had a championship match against Ivy Nile from American Made, and I thought that match was good. I just felt like that match went on a lot longer than it should have. I felt like that match dragged out a bit, but in ring, Lyra is great. I just wish they did some character work for her, which will lead me to another hater alert. I can't talk, which will lead me to another hater alert that I'm gonna make. Probably will come out this week, but Lyra doesn't really have a lot of character work, at least not that I'm aware of since I started watching. Cody and Cena. Cena coming out to the black and white text, truly just not giving a fuck. That's cool. I guess like that's cool. Just truly not giving a fuck, just being for himself and not being for the fans. That entrance was fine. Cody Rhodes coming out with the dirt bikes and stuff, the Iron Man mask, that got a pop out of me. That was pretty good. And I'll be honest, the match, it from the tag team stuff and then during the duration of the match, yeah, I just was not excited. Like when the other matches were going on, there was energy, there was like a tension of like what's going to happen next. I didn't really have that during this match. And then once the ref bump happens and Cody pushes Cena off, Cena bumps into the ref. After that happens, it's like, all right, now shit's really gonna start. And that didn't really happen. And Travis Scott comes out. Now, this kills me. This completely kills any anticipation that I had of what's going to happen, because I'm like, why the fuck is he here? Like theme music hits, I literally have my hand in the air. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing here? Why are you here? And I've been hearing a lot of what other people are saying. I've been watching other podcasts and stuff to see like just what other people think. And I've been hearing a lot of stuff about how all this stuff was planned. It's supposed to be like this. Cena said he was going to ruin wrestling and all this other stuff. No, you don't put on a match like that as the main event on the last night of WrestleMania. Like that's something you can do on a different pay-per-view. Maybe, I don't know, but that's not doing a shitty match. Let me not say it's shitty, but doing what's the word I'm looking for? A lackluster match on the main event. Not really is not ideal, regardless of like kayfabe or storyline. That's not the spot to do that in. But Travis Scott comes out. I went on a tangent. Travis Scott comes out, walks down to the ring, gets into it with Cody. Cody hits him with a crossroads. And then Cena tries to hit him with the belt. Cody stops him. And then Cody has the moment where he's going to hit him with the belt. Decides not to do it. Gets low blowed, hit with the belt. Ref count 1, 2, 3. And that's it. What's the fucking point? Like this is truly just me hating. But I truly I did want Cody to win. And obviously that was the wrong thing to hope for, because why? There's no reason for WWE to not give Cena that moment and getting that 17th World Championship and breaking the record at WrestleMania. But my hopes were that he wouldn't get it, and then he would just slowly start to be like more and more desperate and doing more heel things instead of just, doing these promos, insulting the fans. And really, I wouldn't even say insulting, but just stating the facts about how fans are, how they don't know what they want, don't know who to cheer for, things like that. Like all that work is great. well, I partially like want to just see him just all out, like do just heinous things to try to get the championship because Cody won't let him. I think that would have been great. But obviously, that was a little bit too much to hope for. But the way that all of that ended, it just, for lack for lack of a better term, like it just blew my high. Like the women's tag match didn't really do anything for me. And that match wasn't like, nothing was really crazy about that match. Like it was a regular match, but okay, Becky came back, won a title. Okay. And there's a shot of that girl crying, and it's like, of course she means something to a lot of people, but it's like okay, like for somebody that hasn't been super tuned in, it didn't do anything for me. And I think there's a certain litmus test to, can a show get people hyped? Can it get different groups of people invested into it? Can it successfully get the casual fan and the long-term hardcore fans excited? Which is probably very hard to do both at the same time. But it also seems like WrestleMania is a little bit more for the casual fan than the hardcore fan. But Travis Scott coming out, interfering. Oh yeah, and I'm fucking rambling. Travis Scott fucking pulling the ref out of the ring during Cody's count. Like it was just a weird way to end it, man. It literally, like, and with the way the night started too, like with the match lineup of the women's triple threat, the street fight, fatal 4-way, Randy Orton and Joe Hendry. Randy Orton and Joe Hendry, that, I'll be honest, I didn't read any reports or I see anything on Twitter about who Randy might face. So when Joe Hendry came out, I literally popped. Like, I'm shaking. My girlfriend sitting next to me. I'm like, oh my God, there's no fun. That was great. But the tag team match and then Cody Cena, it was just like a slow decrease of energy. And I'm literally just sitting there like on the couch. And my girlfriend she didn't got up and like left. We're in the living room. She didn't got off and went to bed. I'm just sitting here like, that's it? Like, that's how it ended?